Practice problems involving the order of operations and operations with signed numbers. This first problem here, we'd have to simplify the numerator and the denominator. On the numerator, we'll have to do exponents before we do our multiplication or any subtraction. So we have a negative 5 squared, and that gives me a 25. So that's all I did on the top. On the bottom, I can go ahead and get multiplying here. A negative 2 times a negative 6 is a 12. I brought down the minus sign, the minus 1, the negative 3, and the minus 2. Next thing I'm going to do is my multiplication up here on the numerator, and 2 times 25 is 50. So we have negative 3 minus 50. On the bottom, negative 1 minus 12 is a negative 13. Negative 3 minus 50 is a negative 53. That's over a negative 13. And two negatives when you're dividing make a positive 53/13. And if you simplify that, that would give you 4 and 1/13. And if you wanted to get the decimal approximation or whatever, it would be take 1 divided by 13, and you would get it out to as many decimal places as you need. So 4 and a 13th. On this problem, you do multiplication division as they appear from left to right. So I would do negative 6 divided by negative 3, which is 2, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So that's actually the right answer on that problem, is just 4. Make sure I have the equals in here. So that would be 4. Going through some of these problems, we have two negatives multiplied together give us a positive. That's the same thing that's going on in this problem. On this problem, we have negative 2 minus 7. That would be a negative 9, because when you're what we're doing here is really, this is the same as adding a negative 7. So this is negative 2 plus a negative 7 is how you can look at this, which is negative 9. Or just if the signs are the same, then just add and bring the sign along. On this problem, we would actually have negative 2 and then minus or subtract off a negative 7 is the same as plus 7. And if we take negative 2 plus 7, we would get 5. In this problem, we have negative of a negative 2, which is positive 2, plus a negative 7 is the same as saying minus 7. Or you can say plus a negative 7 if you like. But either way, you'll end up with a negative 5 on that problem, because we're subtracting more off than what we have. The signs are different, so you subtract and take the sign of the larger number. On this problem, negative 2 squared. On this problem, negative 2 squared, the entire negative 2 is being squared, so that's negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4. Compare that to this problem, where only the 2 is being squared. You look at this as the negative of 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, and the negative of that is negative 4. On this problem, negative 3 minus 5 is a negative 8. And let's scroll on down here. On this problem, negative 32 plus 15 is a negative 17. Okay, signs are different. Subtract, take the sign of the larger. Negative 15 minus 32 is the same thing, negative 17. Here the signs are the same, so we add and bring the sign along, so that would be negative 47. On this problem, this would be the same as a negative 32, and minus a minus 15, or subtract off a negative 15, is the same as adding 15. And if we do that, we'll get a negative 17 on that problem right there. On this problem, negative 32 plus a negative 15, the signs are the same, so we just add and bring along the sign, and that would be negative 47. And this one, two negatives multiplied together would give you a positive. This one, two negatives again multiplied together would give you a positive, so that would be actually 30 when you multiply that together. This is actually 3 negatives multiplied together, which would give you a negative. On this problem, make sure that you do the exponent first, so we'd have negative 3, and then a negative 2 cubed is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, or negative 8. If you multiply those together, you'd get positive 24. On this problem, do what's in the parentheses first. A negative 3 times a negative 2 is 6, so we'd actually have 6 cubed. And 6 cubed, I believe, is 216. On this problem, we would have negative 3 cubed. Well, negative 3 cubed is a negative 27. Whoop. That's a negative 27. Let me put an equal sign here. And a negative 2 cubed is a negative 8. And two negatives multiplied together would give you a positive, and whatever 8 times 27 is would be your answer there. This problem, take the 3 and cube it, you get 27. Multiplied times 2, you get 54. Do this straight across. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 would be negative 4. On this problem, we would have 3 minus, then do your 2 times 4, which is 8. And 3 minus 8 is a negative 5. On this problem, we would have negative 3 minus 6, because we'll have to do the multiplication here first. And that would give you a minus 6. And minus 3 minus 3 minus 6 is a minus 12. This one's messy with all the signed numbers, but we could do this straight across if you wanted to. We could say negative 2 plus 5 is 3. 3 minus 7 is a negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. Negative 2 plus 10 is 8. And 8 minus 5 is 3. So that might be the easiest way to do that particular problem. These last couple were pretty messy here. Let's do Z. This problem would be, well, we'd have to multiply these together. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And 2 minus 24 is a negative 22. And that would be over what we have on the bottom. Well, negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. And 5 plus 6 is 11. So I would get on this problem negative 2. And again, let me just double check the top. We have negative 4 times negative 2, which is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And 2 minus 24 is a negative 22. And on the bottom, 2 negatives make a positive there. That would give me 11. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. With this one, you'd have to simplify the numerator and the denominator. So this right here, the negative 3 over negative 6, reduces down to 1/2. And I'll just say minus whatever I get here in this area. Well, this is negative 10 plus 3, which is a negative 7, over, let's see, on the bottom, we have negative 15 plus 8. And negative 15 plus 8 is a negative 7. Well, that would give me a negative 1/2. Now, a negative 7 divided by a negative 7 is a positive 1. So we are subtracting off right here, because this minus sign that was right there, we're subtracting off 1. And a negative 1/2 minus 1 is a negative 1.5, or a negative 1.5, or a negative 3/2. However you would like to say that would be fine. And that'll do it.